Welcome to today's tutorial. So in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you how to transfer your pattern to a paper and also how to transfer your pattern from the paper to your fabric. I'll be needing my pattern paper and also my trace wheel for this. So for this tutorial I'm just going to be transferring my front bodies to another paper and also transferring the front bodies to my fabric. So this is the tracing wheel that I'm going to be using. You can see the difference between this and this. This is actually more sharper. This is what you use when you want to transfer from a fabric to from a pattern paper to a fabric, while this from one pattern paper to another pattern paper. So you can use a masking tape to hold the fabric the paper together to avoid the paper from shaking. So I'm just going to be starting. So before taking off your paper, you have to ensure that you have stretched out every basic details that you want to appear in the other paper. So now I'm just going to take this out and now trace on the new paper. This is me just tracing out what I've already marked on my actual pattern. So this is what I have for my fabric. So this is a princess bud that if I decide to cut out this, I just need to join this together, enable me cut this out. So this is what I'm going to be having if I decide to cut out the side from the side. So now I just need to add extra allowance before I go ahead to cut this on my fabric. This is for sewing allowance. This depends on how much sewing allowance you wish to add to it. So there will be no need for sewing allowance because we're actually bending the fabric into two at this point. However, if I want to divide the princess bust into two and I don't want to join them together, that is, I want to cut the fabric into two at this point, I'll need to cut out this fabric. I'll need to retrace this fabric. I'll need to retrace. However, if I want to cut the princess bust differently, that is, I don't just want to take it upper dart and lower dart, and I want it to be a princess dart, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be transferring this pattern independently to a fresh paper. After doing that, I'll be able to give my sewing allowance for the dart area here as well. So that's what I'm just going to be doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead now and transfer this fabric to the other paper to enable me get my sewing allowance for my dart area. So now I'm just going to go ahead to add my sewing allowance for my dart area as well. So the sewing allowance depends entirely on you. So this is what we have at the end of the day. So now I'm going to be folding my fabric into two. And then I'm just going to place in this. So now I'm just going to bring this out to enable me draft my fabric, my pattern down to my fabric. I'm just going to go through the same process I went through when I was transferring my pattern to the fabric, to the other pattern paper. But instead, this time around, I'm using a flapper wheel. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm going to take this out, and then I'm just going to come back here and trace this with either my tailor's chalk or a transparent pen. So this is what we have at the end of the day. And also the correct sewing place. So now when we're sewing, we know that we're going through our chalk or our transparent pen. So that's all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching.